Hello and welcome back to another video. If you're here today, you're probably here for some technical Minecraft videos, and I encourage you to watch the whole thing because I have a great explanation for you for this system that I've created, and I'm very proud of it. So if you enjoy, definitely like, and here's the video. On my journey to replicate Blitz survival games in survival Minecraft, I've created a way to automatically refill chests so you can take a step back and hang out with the people you're playing with and let the system do its work. Now you can see that all of these chests are being created in unison, but they are all random. Let me check. Random, random, random. And all of this happened automatically. That's actually pretty funny that these are the same chests, because with the randomization there might be a chance that you get the same thing 2 times. It's a possibility. The probability is actually quite high when we're only dealing with a few chests. But how does this work, you might ask? I know it seems pretty magic, but it's all using armor stands, man. These things are so handy if you're creating any technical things in Minecraft, but you can do a lot with them. So let me explain a bit better how this works, because it might seem confusing at first, but trust me, it is. Oh, I'm going into the world. It is so cool how it's actually done. So this is the whole system. We have a randomizer here and something that activates all of them. But let me explain a bit better how this is all run, and that happens because we have created time. That's right, we control time, and we have taken advantage of it in this command block chain right here. So there are 4 things happening, all of which are very important, but the beginning of it all is pretty much counting time. Now if you're familiar with technical Minecraft, you know that 1 game tick is not a lot of time in real life. You need about 20 game ticks to equal 1 second, and for a system like this we want to make sure that each chest has a chance to activate, so we're giving them 1 second each. So we've created a system that'll count seconds pretty much. Now let me explain this. If it's a bit confusing, please ask a question in the comments, I'll clarify, but let me go through this. We're executing if the score of this player, game master, if on the objective refill on, so the refill system on, if that matches 1, that means that we've turned it on. We control this value between 1 and 0. 1 will mean it running, and 0 means nothing's happening. But if it does equal 1, we're running another command to add to the same target, game master, the value of time 1. So every game tick, 1 value is being added to this. So that's a way for us to be able to monitor and create a sense of time. But that wouldn't be anything without this next command saying that if that time value gets to 20, because 20 game ticks equals 1 second, we're setting it back to 0. So every second it is being reset, and this is our chance to be able to make sure that we have control over the time. So let me show you this command. It's also very clear. If the score of this target, which doesn't really exist, I've just created this, but the game understands it as the same person all over, so this objective can go to the game master even though it's not a command block or a player, it's just a value that I've created. If that's confusing, ask, but I feel like it should be fairly clear. But if their time equals 20, if it matches 20, we're going to run the command to set their time to 0. So every second this is being reset. Now because this is a chain, every time this happens, these 2 are going to be activated. So every second we have 2 more things that happen. We're teleporting a random entity and a chain entity. And those are right here. So the chain entity is this command or this armor stand, and the random entity is this armor stand. Now let me explain what's happening with the random guy here. And that's done by teleporting this armor stand across any one of these pressure plates. Now there are 49. This is a 7x7 area. You could have this 5x5 or 9x9 if you wanted, but I felt like 7x7 with 49 possible areas to randomize to felt pretty good. Now all of these chests underneath I've manually created, and they're all unique. We have some food, we have armors, weapons, and a fishing rod. There's also some bows and even some good stuff like enchanting bottles and ender pearls. I think there's a diamond in here somewhere, but there we go. So there are possibilities to get gear that would help you progress through the game, just like Blitz survival games or any other server like that that hosts a Hunger Games style mini game. So that happens. This random armor stand gets teleported on it and activates this command block that's underneath that, which clones the chest beneath it and copies that to a certain space. Now, the reason that we have that copied to a certain space is because this one thing is going to be where we clone to the armor stands. Now, this is very important. You can see that I have the location marked because it is an important coordinate, but this changes every time the random armor stand is gone. So we have melons here, we're going to teleport it around. You can see that we have a splash potion. So this controls the randomization. It's important because if you remember this, the random thing gets teleported every second. So every second that chest is changing, but at the same time, this chain guy is moving one block more. One block, one block, one block. And now what this does is this executes directly at that armor stand. So at the beginning we had those invisible armor stands, but for now I want to show you this guy here. So we open that, this has a 4 name, this has a 1 name, and when we activate this, we'll be able to see how this operates. So the random chain is moving along. We already have number 1 spawned and then 4. So this goes in order 1 through 9, and you can see that these are different chests because this is being cloned from that area. Now that command happens in this chain, so let me go through this again. So we're executing at the armor stand. We could put another identifier in here, type equals armor stand, but it doesn't really matter. That does it enough. The name equals 1, and at that location we are running the clone command. So cloning that area, the chest that we saw earlier, directly at the location of the armor stand. So you can see that this targets 1, this targets 2, and because we had a 4 here, the 4th block, this green one, targets 4. So we could have numbers 1 through 9 and they would all have a different chest because we have our time running to randomize and then follow through with the chain. Now what happens when this chain goes through? We go through all of them and then we get to the end. How do we stop this whole system? Well, if you remember at the start, the gamemaster entity, their refillon value equaled 1. So we're going to change that objective score of refillon to 0. That stops the whole clock and stops the system. And at the same time, we're teleporting this entity named chain back to the beginning where it's resting right now. Now this happens all within 9 seconds, or I guess 10 if you're including the step right here. So this is a fairly quick system that does a lot of complex work, but very efficiently. I'm very proud of this actually. And this is something that I think is going to be a very big tool for you guys if you want to replicate this, and I'll have this in the comment description or the description below. This is a book that allows you to begin the chain, begin the cycle, but also summon the correct armor stands 1 through 9, and also be able to remove an armor stand because sometimes you might place it in the wrong spot. So this will help you do that. Now these are all being refilled, so these are different than the ones that were in there earlier, but I'll show you just how powerful the system is. I can put 1 here, I'll put 2 here, go here, and I'll put 3. We'll put 4 right here, 5, let's do 6 over here, 7 right here, 8. And then just to show you what I mean with the killing stuff, this command here, if we accidentally place one here, let's go to spectator. This is not going to do anything. If we have a chest, it's going to spawn in the air, but that's just because maybe we weren't standing on the ground. You can go ahead and go back into creative, open your book, kill the nearest stand, and you can see that only that one's gone. So that's going to be important. Let's go to creative, go down here, and we'll make sure that all 9 are in here. So just to show you, we'll remove these 2, those ones, just to show you that this can happen for multiple of the same. So if you have 7 number 1 stands in your world, they'll all be replaced. Let's begin the cycle, and this is fun to watch. They're all being put in place very perfectly in order, and this is so satisfying to watch. But all of these are going to be randomized and all be able to be put into use during the game. That's the whole system. If you guys have any questions, definitely ask below, but this is something that I've designed and I think is pretty powerful, and if you're creating some sort of survival game map, this would be important. So if you use it, great. If you do, let me know, and if you have any confusions or questions, don't be afraid to ask because I can answer them.